Welcome back. I'm Dorothy Morgan. I'm a professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com, where you can read this forecast. You can read the new moon and full moon forecast, which will not be part of the July forecast, which is what this one is. And you can read all of this in more detail there. You can also contact me for sessions and, well, for whatever else you need. So I want to start off today talking about Venus in Gemini is moving forward. Saturn in Libra is moving forward. We have until the end of July for Venus to get back to where she originally started her retrograde motion, which was at 23 degrees of Gemini. Saturn has stationed at 23 Libra. That's a trine aspect. So basically, if you've done your work and you're happy with the work that you did within your relationships and shifting your values and just reassessing your value system, everybody's is different. This trine aspect between the two planets in the month of July and through the whole month of July will be very beneficial for people and for all of us who have done the work that we needed to do. Now, it's actually going to be beneficial whether you've done this work or not, but you're going to get more benefit out of it if you've done some work and you're able to really say, look at what we did. All right, so that's the whole theme really of July, is that we finally get Venus back. We finally get, our communication within our relationships get to return in a whole different way, but it's much, much better than it was beforehand. Now, another one of the bigger aspects that's going on in early July is the planet Jupiter is opposite the North Node, which means it conjuncts the South Node. So this is a position that the eclipses that we had in May and June were. And so with that, it's all about expanding our awareness within the groups that either individuals or the groups of people that we're involved with. Sometimes this can be stressful and sometimes it isn't. We just need to reassess and reevaluate our connections with certain people and or groups. All right, so we can let them go, or we can see that somebody that we've met or some relationship that we have, it's worth going further with for our life path. The North Node, South Node energy, the AKA eclipse energy, is all about following life path energy. And with Jupiter there, it's going to expand that. So whatever happened and whatever came up for you from May 20th or June 4th, those are the two eclipses. And again, within a month on either side of those, and we're actually within that time range, all of this energy is amplified by the great benefic Jupiter. So make sure you're well aware. And if you're watching this early, which I'm hoping you will be, you'll be prepared and ready to accept the beautiful, wonderful gifts that Jupiter gives us. The only thing that we don't want from Jupiter is an excess. If we get too much, it can be overwhelming. So you're going to get what you want. So focus in on what you want. Now that Mars is finally out of Virgo, moved into Libra on July 3rd, this is good because we're going to be focusing on what's fair, what's just, focusing on our relationships. So that is great behavior compared to the passive-aggressive, I'm unsure, I'm paying attention to too many details, that Virgo energy that, can make us stuck because we're just searching for perfection. Perfection that doesn't exist. There is perfection in the world, but not the perfection we're looking for. So now that we get to work with Mars in Libra, this is fabulous to get, again, Libra energy, the relationships moving forward. So yay, team. Okay. All right, let's move on to further in July. Now we have from July 14th through the 19th, Mars making a trine aspect with Jupiter. Again, this is fabulous. Jupiter was already being very helpful in the beginning of this report, and it is still again, especially with Mars coming in there making a 120-degree angle to Jupiter. We are looking at positive, successful attitudes, winning situations, lots of confidence and energy in whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's a new job, a new relationship. There's a lot of positive energy. Enterprise is fabulous, and even athletic competition. This is a great aspect, actually, that you'd want to see in a woman's chart if they're giving birth anytime soon. That Mars, it controls the muscles, and Jupiter is about expanding things and helping those muscles to work really well. So if you can think of labor and delivery, you can think of that as well in any situation in your life. And basically, it's about you do the work. The work is perfectly organic and natural, and what comes out at the end is something that you've been looking for and wanting for quite some time. So this is a big winning situation for the month of July. And again, it all surrounded the fact that, we had quite a hard time in June with all the retrograde planets within our relationships. So the things that you picked apart and pulled apart and hopefully talked about, all of this should be paying off as we slowly move through the month of July. And, you couldn't ask for anything better. There's a little bit of tension between the Sun and Saturn as well in the mid part of July. And that is, it's about obstacles and limitations. So we have some really positive things, but there are also some limitations. And we have those because we're fearful and we're insecure. So please examine those situations, whatever you're feeling insecure about. Really examine them and face them. And that way you can use the pure and the excellent energy of that Mars-Jupiter trine to actually get you where you want to go. And go there without fear. So release that fear. Do that during the full moon on July 3rd. All right, so let's see what's last. All right, Mercury goes retrograde on July 14th to August 7th in the sign of Leo. So watch your words, edit what you say. Up until July 14th, the planet will be slowing down, but the first week of July would be good for really digging into some communication and just to let people know how you think, what you feel, and just, lots of great creative writing. After the 14th, and actually the week before, as it starts to slow down to its retrograde motion, we're just going to just reconsider what's going on. It doesn't have to be the end of the world, but it's just a time where we should reflect more than we should express, okay? And that's what the retrogrades are all about. It's reflecting, not expressing. So just keep that in mind. It's not the end of the world. It's just Mercury retrograde. I'll be traveling during that time period, so, hey, just plan ahead. All right, so that's part of the energy of July. Now let's move a little further into the end of July. We will have... Yes, we have the new moon in Cancer on July 18th, depending actually on where you live. West Coast is July 18th, July 19th on the East Coast. And with that, in the sign of Cancer, that is always about home and family. Again, you can get that separate report here on YouTube as we get closer to the new moon, and you'll be able to read that on my website, nhastrology.com, when we get closer to the new moon in Cancer. So what I'll do is I'll move on to the next July aspect, and that's, we have the end of July. We have Jupiter making a great aspect to Uranus, and this is about great sudden opportunities that are presented to all of us. Jupiter's been very beneficial this month. We'll go retrograde later in the year, but right now we can take advantage of all this wonderful Jupiter energy, and it is just giving us one opportunity after another. So I'm hoping that, July didn't beat you, June didn't beat you down too far, and you're able to pull yourself up and really move forward with the early aspects in July, so you're able to actually, have a clearer deck and able to bring in new things and new possibilities, new activities, and all these new opportunities that are presented to everybody. Everybody has these opportunities. The details will depend on where this happens in your own personal natal chart. All right, so hopefully that wasn't too hard to get. There's always a little bit too much in my reports. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. Finally, at the end of the month, we have Mars making an opposition to Uranus. That can be a rather tricky, because that's all about sudden, unexpected bursts of energy, the need for freedom out of the blue. So if you've been stuck in a rut, and maybe you didn't use the full moon early in the month in that sign of Capricorn to release your control around certain things, or what you thought was structurally sound, if you didn't use that that full moon to release certain things, then this Mars opposite Uranus can certainly bring in some sudden, unexpected surprises. Now, that's not going to be the case for everybody. Again, these are all influences that we can choose to bring into our lives, or we can just ignore them or see them around us. They don't have to influence us completely. They don't. You can just be in the moment. There you go. How's that for shifting gears? That's the best thing that I've always discovered after years and years of doing astrology is, no matter what the universe presents to you, or your family, friends presents to you, how you receive it and how you act is almost always the main theme as to, is it good or is it bad? You don't believe how many people ask me, was that a good aspect or a bad aspect? And I'm like, I don't know. Which would you like it to be? All right? So, isn't that putting it back on you? Because it really is. So you decide, something that looks bad, it could easily turn out to be something that was the best thing that ever happened to you. All right, so I'll just stop lecturing now. Thank you. And read my forecast on my website, and find me on Facebook. You can find me at Dorothy Morgan or Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. And thank you all so much. And namaste. Blessed be.